So
We
we
good.
are.
Yep.
I've had is back online with another banger, another doozy.
Yeah, in the meantime, we came up with a name. So we're gonna be called Five Head Talk for at least for the time being. So welcome to another episode, I guess.
Yeah, the first one that we're actually presenting some video, apart from Tsunade's boobs, of course.
Yeah. Although that was the highlight of the first
Yeah, it
episode, if you
doesn't
ask
get
me.
better from there. It's only gonna get worse from
Yeah,
here.
might just go back and might as well just go back and watch the first episode over and over again. But yeah, we're
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
be
we wouldn't mind.
we're gonna be ranking Marvel movies today, as you can see. We got some.
Yep. We're gonna rank all of them up until 2021 or 2020, since COVID.
Yeah, there hasn't been a lot
Didn't get
of
any new
development.
movies last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thankfully, the guy that made the list took the time to sort them in uh, order of release.
you mean we made the list? I mean, this is all original content. We
Yeah,
went and we took all the posters, screenshotted them, put them in here.
yeah, totally. That's what I meant.
We even made the website. It's called tiermaker.com.
Yeah, you can find it in
You
the
guys can
description of our
feel free to
podcast.
use it. I'm kidding. We didn't make the website. Don't copyright us. If
Yeah,
anyone is even listening, of course.
that's a smart thing to say. All right. I don't think we're gonna rank them in any with any sort of criteria in mind, just our subjective. Uh,
But I actually do have some criteria that you're gonna see when we start ranking, and then if you like it, then go along with it, and if you don't, just
I think I
wait
might have an idea of what the
independently.
criteria is.
Mm-hmm. You'll see.
Yep.
It's
Um,
there's one thing that every Marvel movie gets grief for, and it's a bad villain. So I'm
oh
thinking I'm gonna put that into account.
no, I didn't
So,
think of. I didn't think.
were
That's
you
what you
were
had
you
in mind.
thinking about
Like
characters who I can identify
boob
with?
screen time.
A boob screen time.
Yeah.
Well, Scarlett Johansson is not in all of them, so yeah, I guess
Yeah.
the S stands for Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. And D stands for Downey.
Oh man, poor guy. No, we love Robert Downey
Yeah, we
Jr. We
love him.
cried when he died.
Well, you cried, but
Oh,
yeah.
we're
he,
averaging, remember?
he's you cried half the time and the other half I cried.
Yeah.
Um, no, but seriously, he is. Actually, now that I think about it, would be a cool thing to kind of wrap up the podcast with our favorite characters, or
Yeah, that would be fun.
all right.
So, anyways, before we officially start, obviously, spoilers ahead. We'll be discussing the plots of the movies too,
Oh
probably.
yeah,
So,
that's a given.
if you want to watch any of these movies for the first time, don't listen. I love how we always give our audience reasons not to
Not to
listen.
watch. Yeah, that's might not be the greatest idea, but is there a way to do this spoiler free? I don't think so. Let's just not even think about that.
We could do like, okay, Iron Man S, Hulk B, just speed run rankings
Yeah,
of the Marvel movies.
like a
I hear
min
speed runs are pretty popular these
popular.
days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right. I don't know if there's anything else to um, mention before we.
And yeah, let's go in turns. So, for example, I'll start with Iron Man, and then we agree on the ranking. Then you start with the Hulk, and so
Hold on.
on.
Let's see if that's gonna work out. Because you
I mean,
haven't
because
seen,
yeah,
or no. I haven't seen
it's
Ant-Man and the
it's
Wasp yet.
fine. It's fine. Don't count now. It'll work out for the Hulk. It might not work out for Ant-Man, but
Yeah,
who cares?
we're gonna swap the order then. Okay.
Okay, so Iron Man, the one that started it all off,
Yep,
and
the beginning of the
coincidentally, I
cinematic
think
universe.
Iron Man is the most different movie of all of these. If you consider like the typical superhero trope, Iron Man is a bit more realistic. I mean, technically, you've got no fantastical elements in Iron Man,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like this kind of cool sci-fi flick, but obviously it's building up Tony to be this big superhero. And I really like the action scenes. I like the whole concept, and I love the whole part when he's just kidnapped and trying to get out of there. I really think it's a good movie, and I think it has value, kind of bigger than just this flashy superhero stuff. So I'd go so far as to rank it into S, just because it has this, movie
Wow, starting
value.
it off with an S.
Yep.
I don't know. I kind of actually agree with you with respect to the what you said about it being like kind of different, and I think they didn't have an idea of what they want to or where they want to go with the movies yet. I mean, it was the first movie. I didn't even know it's gonna
Of
be a
course.
cinematic universe at that time.
No,
Maybe
I bet neither did they. I
yeah,
mean,
probably. So that must be one of the reasons why it kind of stands out. But also, it's in a way, it's I want to say different, even if you look at the plot, because it's like um, at the moment there is only one character we know of, and that's Iron Man, and it's only focusing on him, and starting from
yep.
pretty much, well, if you exclude Hulk, pretty much from the next one, Iron Man 2, you have
Mhm.
at least one or more as the series
Yeah, you
goes
you
on.
have these cameos, I guess. I
Yeah,
mean, still
so
in Captain America, maybe not, but even in Thor, you've got this Hawkeye
I mean,
appearing a
of
little
course
bit.
there are cameos in Captain
Yeah, yeah.
America, or even like side roles. There's his friend, the Winter Soldier. There's Nick
Oh
Fury
no,
and
I
stuff.
meant the first Captain America. There is no one there. Pretty sure it's just this Red Skull,
No Nick
right?
Fury even, or Bucky.
No, I don't think Nick Fury was alive back then. Bucky is in the Winter Soldier. Oh, well, I guess
I
Bucky,
mean,
yeah, he is in the beginning, but I didn't really know he was
all
going
right,
to be
but
an
you
actual
get what I'm
character,
talking
right?
about. You get what I'm
Yeah, yeah,
talking about.
sure, sure, of course, of course. They were more standalone-ish. They still
Yeah,
didn't know that it's going to join forces yet.
yeah. So for all those reasons and for the fact that I was kind of impressed with it, it was a long time ago. I think
Mhm.
it was like 2008 or something. So for its time, it was a really
Yeah.
good movie.
Oh yeah.
In terms of superhero movies, I rank it in tier A though, not S. So
Okay,
um,
let's put it in A then,
yeah,
because I do think that there's some movies that were just so mind-blowing that
that it's
they
too
deserve to be in a ranking higher than
right,
this one.
right.
Yeah.
All right, now we get to Hulk, which is
No,
the
okay.
movie
So
that
the Hulk is the only movie that I have not seen in this
right.
list, so you'll be unilaterally deciding its ranking.
Well, I have the power in this one. Well, technically, I have the power for all of them because I'm the one controlling
Yeah,
the
it's on your
computer.
screen. Yep,
All right,
yep.
so Hulk, I want to say all the things we talked about with respect to Iron Man, it being like a standalone movie, no other characters and all that, it still stands for Hulk because obviously it was just the beginning of the cinematic universe. Nobody even knew it's going to be a thing. But
Mhm.
in terms of quality, I don't know. It's kind of there's nothing special about it. It's like you have a guy that's I don't know, kind of smart. He gets into trouble. He gets a superpower. While getting into trouble, he has to find a way
Mhm.
to get over the trouble, and then he does get over trouble, the troubles. And
Right.
of course, he has a mm, girl he's doing it for. So um,
Oh, he does? It's who is the girl? What's her name? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was a
Is
long
it the
time
one
ago.
from the
But
comic book?
she is.
Yeah.
Oh, you've read comics of these movies? I haven't.
No, no.
I don't know.
I'm just
I just
asking.
know that there's a general that's kind of he's trying to capture him because he's obviously a very important asset to the military. He's
I love how they just give up on capturing them in the Avengers. Like, nah, you just guys go
yeah
ahead and be free.
yeah. I guess they realize they can't do it, but yeah, they want to capture him, and the main guy,
Right.
the general that wants to or that's leading the whole operation. Well, his daughter is the if I remember correctly, his daughter is
Oh, okay, okay. Just like in Spider-Man with
kind of
Andrew Garfield, when
yeah.
when you have Gwen and her dad in the
I
police.
guess it's a
Okay,
trope.
that's a good
So
trope. Yeah, it's a good trope.
I think I'd rank it in probably C. Yeah, probably C.
See, huh?
Yeah,
Not the worst thing ever.
not the worst
So
thing
the
ever,
reason
but
why I didn't watch it is because I didn't know when it came out. I mean, I was still a child. And then later, when Avengers came out, I was like, okay, I should retroactively watch all their movies. But I saw that it's not even the same actor, so I just assumed that it's not even in the cinematic universe. And, everyone knows about Hulk anyways, so
yeah,
his backstory isn't really necessary. So, yeah, that's the reason why I didn't see it.
I don't think you missed anything important. But I would still watch it. It's a decent time killer, but in terms of uh, it being part of the cinematic universe and with respect to all the other movies, I think it's just
Mhm.
mediocre. So I rank it in C.
Right. Okay, fair.
All right.
Iron Man 2, I guess they still weren't too sure about starting a franchise. I think in Iron Man 2 they have Black Widow, right?
Yeah, she
So she's
appears.
already appearing. Nick
Hmm.
Fury also shows up.
Yep.
I'm thinking Nick Fury shows up in the end of Iron Man in the credit scene, right?
Yeah, I think he
The
shows up in Captain
end credit
America as
scene.
well. The first
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely in Captain America in the end credit scene. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. So in Iron Man 2, you can see that they already want to build something. Now, Iron Man 2 is pretty well known for being bad. I don't know how it scales up to the Hulk, but the villain is just, I mean, in the first one, you could kind of say that the villain was just kind of this old side of Tony, right? This
Yep.
warmongering, profiteering part of him that, he's just in it for the money. And he defeats this part of him through defeating Obadiah, I think his name was. Yeah, Obadiah. And then in Iron Man 2, the villain is just, crazy Russian guy whose motive is to be evil, basically.
Yeah.
So, the whole movie is not really driven by much. Then there's that guy who's kind of jealous of Tony. And Tony goes through this kind of weird self-hating phase, right? He kind of pees his suit and stuff.
Yep.
And the second, yeah, it's in the second one, right?
Yeah, that's all. That's
He
all. I
pees
am
his
pretty
suit.
sure that's all. All that you said happened in the
Yeah,
second one.
I mean it's a pretty decent one, but just like you said, a good time killer. And what's good about it is that it's building towards this unification with, I
The
mean,
rest of the
building up
universe.
to cinematic universe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of introducing the
Um,
idea that it's actually gonna be a
yeah.
more than just one character.
I really do think I'd put it in C as well, but I don't know. You should gauge how it fits with the Hulk. Is it better?
I first before ranking it, I just have to say that I'm going to be kind of biased when it comes to this movie because um, I what is the time this came out? I don't. It doesn't show the year. I don't
2010 maybe?
remember. Uh, yeah, around there. It was in elementary school, and me and my best friend we watched it together, and we were blown away by it because it was the first time in these MCU movies that they sort of started making it look kind of flashy and all the suit transformations and stuff. And then also him discovering the isotope, which I can't remember the.
Oh yeah, yeah, the new elements. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a cool scene.
for
When
whatever
he
reason,
fixes his.
right? For whatever reason, my friend and I uh, were like blown away by that scene, and we sort of had this. We were joking, but sort of not as well when we said like, hey, when we like get older, let's kind of
We're gonna create some elements.
yeah, let's just
Yeah,
get
I
into
mean
science
that is
and
the
create our
point that I wanted to make about Iron Man 1 and generally all the Iron Men. Um, they really do well to inspire you and kind of get you interested into science, I
yeah
think.
yeah
Because you've got this superhero who's not really super in any other way except for abusing science,
and
and that's
money
pretty cool. Well, yeah.
yeah
I mean, you compare him to Batman, and you're just like, wow, Batman is so boring compared to this guy.
right.
I don't
So
know.
I don't know. I put him in A. You would put him in C or
I guess B,
was it
huh?
C? Yeah. So I think
B is
It
fair.
averages
Yeah.
out to
I think
B.
C is a bit too low for this one. So B is fine.
All right, and now we get to the first Thor movie. Hmm. All right. I don't actually remember much of it. It was a long time ago, and I only watched it once when it came out. So, do you mind kind of just quickly going over the story of the first one? What
Yeah,
happened in the first
yeah.
one?
So I mean, we're introduced to Thor for the first time, right? And he lives on this whole other world. So it's such a step up from the Iron Man movies, which are basically the first two were just completely realistic, no
Mm-hmm.
fantastical elements, and then we get to see Thor on another alien world, and his brother Loki, who's actually a frost giant, who's yet from a third world, and he's adopted, and he doesn't know it, and then it's all about that family drama of him finding out that he's in he's from another world, right?
Yep.
And then in the meanwhile, Thor is banished to Earth, right? For I don't remember what exactly he did, but
Right. I think it was
Odin,
about the battle. Something about the battle with the whatever people. He did something he
yeah,
wasn't supposed to, and then yeah, I'm
mm.
starting to remember.
Odin takes away his hammer, banishes him here.
Yeah, and he
I
needs
think
to
so.
do
Yeah,
whatever to deserve it again.
actually, the hammer is also on Earth, but he can't pick it up anymore.
I'm starting to remember now.
So, I mean, to me, I feel the same way as you say for Iron Man 2. I watched this with my friends in the movies in elementary school, and
Mm-hmm.
we were also blown away. The graphics were amazing for that time, and
Mm-hmm.
there never really was anything of this caliber. Like you've got these kind of alien worlds and space travel,
When it
like
comes to
teleportation,
superhero
whatever.
movies or just in general?
In general, I'd say, I mean, you didn't have something of such high production. The
All right.
maybe the highest production of like graphics wise was Lord of the Rings before this, on a scale, on a big scale,
All right. So
because
it
you
was
had
just a
these whole worlds of just computer generated cool eye candy stuff, and it was
on a
good. It
very high
wasn't
level in
bad.
terms of production. All right. I get it.
Yeah, it was, and you could see that it's so crisp. But Thor, when you think about it, he's become such an interesting character now. But in Thor in 1 and 2, he was just so boring and
Yeah.
one dimensional. He's like
Mm.
this, strong guy, want to make father proud. Oh,
Yeah.
it's all he is, and
I
he's
even
not a very
remember.
interesting character.
Uh,
Loki, however, he's a fan favorite, and he was from the start. I think you said that you don't really like Loki, right?
yeah, I don't like his appearance. I would like him as a
Yeah,
character
but he
if he just looked
really
cooler.
is well liked. It's undeniable,
Yeah, he's
and
a lot
and
more
I really
complex
like him.
than Thor. So
Yeah. Also, Heimdall, I really liked Heimdall.
yep.
He doesn't really have a character arc except in the third movie, but I don't know. I thought he was really cool with the sword and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, at that time I was still a kid. I would like, imagine that I'm Heimdall and like we'll swing my sword
What a
around and
little
stuff.
nerd, huh?
Yep. So yeah,
All
I
right. I
would
don't know.
I would easily rate Thor in A, just like
Wow.
you said about
Yeah.
the
I was
Iron
thinking
Man
about
2.
putting him in C. So I guess we have to go with B
So
again.
B, yeah. Yeah, realistically, I think that's true.
All
hmm
right.
I mean, I don't really feel compelled to rewatch it. I feel like
Yeah.
anything that I'm not compelled to rewatch can't really be A, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I think just for the reason that Thor was really boring in that movie. It's uh, I don't know. It's even hard to describe. He the way he talked, like the scenes he was in, nothing.
He was very generic. It's
Yeah,
like they made the whole movie, it was so cool, but they forgot to write the character.
character, right?
That's kind of how it felt.
So that's
Yeah.
why I thought I would put it in C. But I guess with the
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you there as
all
far as the
right,
character goes. Cap. All right. Now,
all
this is a movie that I've seen only once,
right.
Captain America, the
Mm-hmm.
first one. I do kind of remember the plot, and I would like to rewatch it to see if my opinion changes. I thought it was cool that they introduced the Tesseract in this way. Like we still didn't even know about the Infinity Stones,
Yeah.
and it ended up being like the major part of the universe. But at that time, it was kind of a cool artifact that might be used and might not be.
No, for sure. I
But
thought it's a. I think I vaguely remember me thinking, "Oh wow, this is something that they're probably gonna end up using in a."
a surprise tool that'll be useful later. Yeah.
Yeah,
I did like his origin story. I'm a big sucker for origin stories. I love them.
yeah. Hmm.
And you know how a lot of people complain, like, oh no, we're getting the third Spider-Man. What if we have another origin story? But I always like it. Same with like the Batman. Um, we had three of them, I think, the origin stories. I always enjoy them because they kind of build the world for the superhero to grow into.
Hmm.
Um, and I like the one for Captain America. It's got a nice motivation behind it, and that scene when he finally transforms and he catches those criminals, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and when
Like,
the girl touches his specs, oh, that was a nice
oh
scene.
yeah, that's a nice scene. You should put his tits in
Oh,
the thumbnail.
yeah, I'm probably
Um,
gonna do that.
yeah, so it's a decent movie. It's a good one. I'd put it somewhere between A and B, I think.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Probably put him in A though, because
Mhm.
I can't, I just can't put him in the same tier as Thor and Iron Man 2.
Yeah, sure, sure. I can't really think of anything bad about this movie, whereas for Iron Man 2, I definitely can.
Yeah,
For
so I
Thor
guess
as well.
it's A then.
Mhm.
All right, oh, this is gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, finally got to the first Avengers, where
Yeah.
all the kids took their toys and just smushed them together.
Yeah, but I when it first came out, I was kind of shocked because I mean I knew they were gonna be uh, putting all the superheroes in one movie at one point, but when they first announced it, I was kind of shocked because it was I don't know if I felt like it was too soon because
Mhm.
as you know like
And we didn't really have many. Like if you look at this, what we had four characters, right?
you,
Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Cap, and we didn't really even know Hulk, I guess.
yeah at that time I didn't even think that Hulk is part of the
Yeah,
universe,
same, same.
so I thought like what are they gonna do, and then it came out and the story or like the plot of the movie was okay, nothing special, I think, but just seeing those superheroes together for the first time, I don't know why, but sort of those sort of scenes where a lot of people come together to fight a lot
Mhm.
of bad guys in movies and anime, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know why I always liked them, and
Yeah.
the what is it? Um, what's it called? I don't remember. But the theme that plays when they when Cap
Mhm.
says Avengers Assemble.
Well, he
Um,
doesn't say assemble in that movie yet.
no, I mean in the universe, whenever he says assemble, the theme. I think in that movie it's
Okay,
the
okay.
theme when Hulk says I'm always angry. But
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's a good scene.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
no, I mean the whole movie is super hype and you know, like you're supposed to look at all these superheroes together and just enjoy it.
yeah,
Now of course like the story
I don't feel
we
like there
first
was
got this
really
part.
a villain like
I mean there's an obviously impending sense of doom because of Loki who's coming to destroy New York, right?
yeah, but no,
Um
I always knew I mean he's Thor's brother. There's no way they're gonna
yeah,
kill him or anything.
I mean honestly, yeah, it was kind of strange to have that happen,
Yeah,
but at the same time, yeah, the whole point is to just get them all together. I also think that we can't really rank it as S, but it just does such a great service to the rest of the universe because when we saw this movie, we know that there's going to be more Avengers after, and
yeah,
they're
yeah, yeah,
only going to keep getting better and better. So
for sure.
I think that's a reason why it's really dear to me. Um, at this point the characters weren't really all fleshed out. Tony was kind of annoying sometimes, and then you've got Thor who has no personality.
Yeah, he was too boring.
Captain America is a bit too pure for me as well in
I'd
the
probably go
beginning.
as far to
But
say that
they
Hulk
really,
was the best move, the
they
best
really
character in the
have a
movie.
nice. Oh yeah, yeah. You could say that actually. I really do enjoy Mark Ruffalo's performance. How he's kind of scared of himself the
Yeah,
whole, even in the beginning, and it's really well shown.
yeah,
I like that. Mm, yeah, I think I'd give it an A.
same here.
So it doesn't really interfere with Infinity War or
Yeah,
Endgame,
I
because those are really on a whole nother level.
yeah, that's why I thought it's gonna be tough because I really want to put it in S, but I just can't. It's
Yeah.
it's not quite there. All right, Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
Boy.
What I really didn't like about this movie, and it sucks to start from the end, but you know how he's like, okay, I'm destroying all of my suits, I'm never gonna do this again,
Yeah,
he says at the end.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then in the next movie, it's not even addressed. And Pepper just doesn't even show up because in the next movie,
Mhm.
because Gwyneth Paltrow didn't want to act, and she's got these superpowers from the fire from Brad Pitt.
So is this
Like
what do you think? Is this uh something that's kind of hindering this
it's
movie
kind
or
of.
the next one?
I feel like they fucked up with this movie for not um, not expecting future of the cinematic universe, and they learned from this movie. You
Mm-hmm.
know how I heard that now they keep their projects like 10 years in the future, or 5 years in the future. They are already thinking what's going to happen.
Planning ahead,
With
yeah.
this one, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they did that. They did that yet at that point, and it shows. Like the directors were just making impulsive decisions that would affect their movie and then screw up the rest of the universe.
Yeah.
So it's good that it got omitted, I guess, or overlooked, but and we have to live with it. Um,
Even without that, even without the movie being kind of not well thought out in terms of what's gonna come after it, even without that
yeah,
factor, I still think it's a pretty bad movie. There's that
yeah. If
one
you
cool
look
scene
at
where
it just
he,
by itself,
uh,
I have no like memorable moments
yeah,
to
yeah. I think
draw upon.
this is kind of fun, a fun story. I think what was it that came after it? Um, Probably Avengers: Age of Ultron. I was gonna no the first Avengers movie that came after it. Probably
Uh,
I was thinking like, okay,
Ultron.
is there any movie I missed? And I
Huh?
saw Iron Man 3 and I was like, wait, have I seen that movie? And then I watched the trailer and I thought, okay, yeah, I've seen that movie. But at that time, before seeing the trailer, I couldn't
Yeah, yeah.
remember a single scene from the movie. It was so unmemorable. So uh,
It's really unmemorable. You've got this cliche villain. I guess he's got the jealousy thing, but I
yeah,
mean, so what? You're jealous of this guy, and then you want to kill him and destroy all of humanity. I mean, really?
isn't that what the whole Iron Man 2 movie was about? So
Well,
not
I
very
guess in the
creative.
Iron Man 2, the guy lost his family to Stark or something like this. I don't know. At least, you've
I mean,
got that.
you hate Tony Stark for one reason or another, and you want to kill him. That's
Yeah, but I
pretty
mean,
boring.
this reason sucks ass. Like, the guy got stood up. That's it. Like, he was supposed to meet with Tony on the roof, and Tony didn't show up. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, better kill him
Really,
now.
drop it at some point. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I'd put him in D
Um, I put him in D too. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad we agree on
because
that.
this movie sucks D.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thor: The Dark World. We got another D here. I don't know.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
what I like about Thor: The Dark World. Wait, I started as if I knew what I was gonna say.
Honestly, I don't think there
I
is a
think
single good
I
element about this
you know
movie.
what I could say, like at least it takes some things seriously in it. Like Thor's mom dies. That's kind of a first, right? That some major character dies. I guess she's not really too major, but
Yeah, but
Marvel was kind of sugarcoating all this death stuff and the consequences of being a superhero.
Hmm.
And also this idea of the ether where they kind of, but it's like a wormhole or they teleport and stuff. Like in the beginning, it had some potential when Darcy drops like a can and it shows up somewhere else. It looked
Yeah, I
cool.
just want to
I guess
like
they
in
could have.
comparison to like the Tesseract when they introduced the Tesseract, I was really interested in it. I wanted to see what they're gonna do with
Mhm.
it, what it is actually, and in comparison to that, Ether is just so unremarkable. Unremarkable. I
That's
remember.
true. Of all the Infinity Stones, the Ether is the least remarkable. Even so far as to kind of point out that they had to note that the Ether was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like in the later movies, they kind of had to give it another backstory,
You know, the
so
first
to
time I
say.
watched this movie, I watched the first 10 minutes and I was like, "Oh, fuck this! This is too boring," and I just stopped. And I had to
Yeah,
watch it again after that.
I actually had the same experience.
Yeah, so
I
this is a
think
D.
yeah, it's gotta be D.
All right.
And it looks like it had potential. Out of all these movies, I think it had the most potential to jump to the next level. You know,
C.
yeah, well, C, but still, like, how would you fix Iron Man 3? I mean, it's not really obvious.
Yeah, yeah.
For
For Thor,
Thor,
it
all
had
you kind of
potential.
gotta do is just yeah, just kind of just a little bit more, and you could
Oomph.
make a C at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit of, just a little bit more shirtless Thor or something.
Yeah, they had to. In comparison to like the other movies, I feel like it was a much more almost like DC type of. It had a
Ah,
DC type
yeah,
of
it was
feel.
pretty, yeah, a bland,
Yeah, so
kind
that's
of dark, somber
yeah.
atmosphere.
So that's it. Didn't really fit in. It was boring. It's the
Yeah, actually, now that you say that, Thor: The Dark World is the same way I felt after watching Aquaman. Have you
haven't even
seen
seen that one.
Aquaman?
No, haven't.
It's a good call.
I don't have a even like a slightest desire to watch any of the DC movies. They all seem so
Mhm. Wait,
boring
but
and
wait. Amber Heard is in Aquaman, remember? So you
oh
might want to give
fuck
it a
that
watch.
bitch. Fuck that bitch. I'm on the
Okay.
Team D, Team Depp.
Mhm.
All right, what's
Just like
next?
Thor, just like Thor is.
Guess so.
Okay, go for Captain America.
Winter Soldier. Um, wait, is this the one where we see
This is
kind
the
of
one
the
with Bucky.
backstory and how he became the Winter Soldier and what happened to his
Tony's
Tony's
parents?
parents?
No, that's in Civil War. No.
Uh,
So in Winter Soldier, you've got this guy, this assassin with a cool arm who's kind of fucking up everything,
hmm.
and Cap tries to stop him, but he can't. And then we find out that Hydra is actually in Shield or something. Like they're kind of fucking with
Right.
Shield. And then the whole movie is about stopping Hydra, and Bucky is just kind of helping out Hydra. He's brainwashed or whatever.
Honestly,
And
I
then the
feel like
movie,
because this movie is also, as you can see, quite unmemorable. I feel like it's just the worst
yeah,
version of Civil War. So um,
yeah,
don't know.
that's a good point. Like you in Civil War, you've also got like Bucky who's fucking everything up, but it's actually interesting.
Yeah.
And also, I really, really was irritated by Bucky because Cap has this insane connection with him, and he keeps screwing everything up. Bucky keeps screwing
Yep.
everything up the whole movie. Like
It just felt like
he keeps
it felt like he was doing things just so that the movie can keep going. You know, like
exactly. He was just a plot device to slow everything down so that the movie is actually a movie. A
yeah,
2-hour film instead of like
not
a
a
30-minute action scene.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how it feels. I guess I'd put this into D as well. I would definitely never rewatch
I'd
this
put it in
one.
C just because
C
yeah, I feel like it's
doesn't deserve
slightly
to be with
better.
Thor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fair. It
Yeah.
does have this nice backstory with Hydra. I think that's
Yeah,
pretty
it's trying
interesting.
to
Like
do
everything.
something. It's kind of, wiggling around, but
Yeah.
not that great.
Yeah.
I still think it's much, much
We
better
had
than.
Black Widow in it as well, right? We had Black Widow
Yeah,
there.
I think it's. I think
Let's
C
give
is
it a C.
appropriate. Yeah. All right.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
That was
Okay,
a weird
the
one.
first Guardians. First Guardians, I actually enjoyed this movie. I did think it was a bit overdone with the humor.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess this is what they're going
I mean,
for.
there's like a
But
whole music
at the
scene and
time,
everything.
oh, music is cool. I mean,
The
Suicide
one
Squad is
where
like
the one
the only
where
reason Suicide Squad is good is because of music,
no,
for
no, no. I mean,
example.
there's
But
the whole scene where what's his name, the main guy,
yeah, when Quill is
Quill. Yeah,
doing this dance,
dance. Yeah,
yeah,
that
and when
was
he's
really cringe.
hunting for the, it's I don't know. I was kind of fine with it. But yeah, I mean, at the time, I was thinking like, all these Marvel movies that got this sense of humor, and then this one was just kind of humor on steroids, and I was kind of bothered by it. But I thought, okay, some people might enjoy it, so I
hmm
won't judge it too much. But now, in hindsight, when we have Thor Ragnarok, like Ragnarok is basically
The
hardly
perfect
comedy.
balance between
Yeah,
being
but no,
serious.
like Ragnarok really has a lot of humor. Like, when Valkyrie um shocks all those aliens, like she's killed them all, and then she tries to walk down the ship and she falls down because she's drunk and stuff. You've got a lot of comic relief in
Yeah,
Ragnarok, but it doesn't feel out of place. I mean, this is because it was directed by Taiga Waititi. Is that his name?
yeah. That
Taiga
is
Waititi,
what it was called.
the guy who plays Korg. God, I just love that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
it was. I honestly felt like it was a perfect balance between what it
yeah,
needed
yeah, yeah.
in terms of humor and.
But I mean, what I want to say is, I mean, perfect balance sounds good, but what my point is, they had a lot of humor in it, but it didn't
Wait, are you
ruin
talking
the movie.
about Thor Ragnarok or
Ragnarok, yeah. Whereas in Guardians of the Galaxy, they had a lot of humor in it, and every
it
time
was
there was
hindering
some
the movie?
humor, it kind of downplayed the movie. Not
Mm-hmm.
so much, but in Guardians 2, yes, definitely.
All right.
So yeah, but Guardians 1, just looking at it by itself, I would say that it's a good movie. It was very nice to finally see this kind of alien stuff.
Yes,
It's
that's
much
what I was
different
gonna
from
say.
Thor.
It's
So
a
in Thor, we kind of had these like just human aliens who are basically the same as humans, just more advanced.
yeah.
In Guardians, we had just this whole another level. The prison scene is really fun. I like Rocket a lot, the character.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Maybe the romance between Gamora and Quill is a bit kind of far-fetched, unexpected.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but they are the main characters and they're both hot, so it has to happen. I really dislike the bald guy. What's his name?
Don't remember the one with the arrow.
No, Dave
Yonu.
Bautista.
Oh, oh,
On
oh.
it.
Don't remember his
I
name
don't
either.
remember. Drax.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I dislike him. I really dislike him because he's just what a strong guy with daggers. That's basically his role.
That's
Um,
dumb as fuck just to make some
yeah,
more humor in
and
the
the
movie.
fact that he's kind of in the Guardians, I guess he kind of has a role, not really, but then later on in the cinematic universe, he's just so redundant. Like
Yeah.
he, I mean, even Quill is redundant. I screamed when he fucked up the Thanos scene.
Yeah, I know.
But whatever. Guardians just by themselves, pretty cool, pretty decent. I like the last fight as well and how they beat this guy. What was his name? Something the Destroyer
The
or
one with
whatever.
the mace or whatever.
Yeah, the one with the hammer and the cool face
Yeah,
and the Infinity
I
Stone.
don't know, I agree with everything you said, and I also like the fact that they at least introduced like the humor element to the movie. I feel like
Mhm.
it really um, it showed them like what's the kind of what's the style of the movies that they're trying to
Yeah,
go for in the
and none of
future.
the characters were dry. I mean,
Yeah,
like if you look at Thor, he's got like 2 hours to develop himself, and he It doesn't,
It
right?
doesn't. Yeah.
Whereas in Guardians, we've got five characters and they all have some development. Okay,
Yeah,
not
because
really Groot.
they're not really trying to take anything too
Okay,
seriously,
actually,
and
yeah, Groot does have a character arc. I mean, he fucking sacrifices himself at the end. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
I would give this movie an A.
I would give it a B, but a very high B, so it's gonna be an A for this one.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
Happy with that.
yeah. All right. Age of Ultron.
Ultron.
Huh. I don't know what to think about this one. I like um the whole thing with what's his name, Jarvis, getting
Mhm.
all I don't know, evil and kind of.
Well, actually, it's Ultron who becomes evil.
I mean,
Jarvis
I
gets
mean,
destroyed.
yeah, but they were. I mean, Ultron wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Jarvis. They're kind of. He's just a
They are linked in a way, I guess. Yeah, sure.
side effect of Jarvis. Um, it sort of shows like, all right, you got the very advanced level of technology, and it's sort of already starting to resemble AI. What's gonna happen if it does become like kind of self-aware,
Sentient.
conscious? Yeah. So I like the fact that it's kind of um, touching on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's true. On the
Um,
real world
yeah.
issues. Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
In terms of the
I really
plot.
like Ultron as a character. I rewatched this movie recently
Hmm.
because of WandaVision,
Yeah, yeah.
and I like it more now than I did before. When you compare it to Endgame and Infinity War, it's not on the same level.
Hmm.
But the movie's not just about smashing the main characters together anymore.
Yeah,
Um,
I was gonna say in terms of the plot, it's already starting to feel like they have some idea of what
yeah, yeah,
the characters are going to be driven by, and
yeah.
uh, it really does feel like a really decent plot in
Yeah,
this movie.
Tony's got this great character arc that's, coming from Avengers 1, the ending of Avengers
Yeah.
1, and then leading up to this when he, wants to make a suit of armor around the world. It's really interesting. And then they fuck up, and he's still so sure of his idea that he does it again and makes
Hmm.
Vision, right? So it's really cool.
The decisions they have to make with regards
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the citizens of the city
They
where they were
all
supposed.
struggle
Yeah,
quite a bit.
it had a it was just a really good movie, I think. I
Yeah.
don't know if I
Mhm.
would put it in S, but I think it's definitely better than all the movies in A tier for now. So
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's true. It's better than all the movies in A tier. I don't know if I would put it into S just because of Infinity and Endgame.
I guess
Maybe
we could
Ragnarok,
either put it like at
the other
the
tier.
front of A, so
Right, right. Uh,
or at the end of S when we put all the other ones into S. I guess those are the two options. What do you think? Strong A or weak S?
let's put it as a weak S. Yeah,
All right, I
weak
agree with that.
S. There are a lot of people would say that the first Avengers are better than the second one,
The
but
Avengers that we put into A.
yeah, but those people aren't in this podcast, so
Yeah, so they don't really have a say, or they're not
they can
controlling
go
the
make their
mouse.
own list.
I feel like it just had a good villain, good plot. There were decisions to be
Yeah,
made,
mhm.
and of course
Actually,
the scene with the
the
hammer.
villain I see. I didn't think about this, but the villain of all the villains so far, I think is the most understandable, which is funny because he's literally a fucking robot.
Robot,
But
yeah, and then not only that, but it's also like a very interesting character to watch. Like all the scenes where he's
oh yeah,
not yet.
he's very well. Okay, Loki is as well. Although I know you don't like him, but
Yeah, I don't like him.
objectively as well as subjectively, he is a very liked character. But
Um,
yeah, yeah, Ultron is very appealing. I mean, just because he's kind of Tony, right? A
yeah, and look at all the scenes.
lot of him
There's
are Tony.
probably like a bunch of compilations on YouTube with all the scenes
Oh
of
yeah,
him.
oh yeah, and his voice. I know that everyone is obsessed about his voice. It really sounds menacing and
Hmm.
sinister, but in this kind of mischievous way.
Hmm.
I love it.
So
I love it when he, disappears into the internet for the first time, and then
yeah,
he quotes the Pinocchio uh, story. I don't know if you know it's from Pinocchio. I googled it. He says
don't
like, "Now
remember
I'm
actually.
free. There's no strings. There's no strings on me."
Oh
I
yeah,
really like
it
that.
makes sense. I don't know if
They
I
were pretty subtle. They were pretty subtle about it. I mean, but yeah, he definitely has this Pinocchio storyline
yeah.
where he was
Now that you
not a real
point it
boy and
out,
he's trying to be a real boy. Yeah, pretty cool. I like it a lot.
yeah, a lot more complex than any other villains we've had up until uh,
Yep. Well,
him.
even Loki, like Loki, kind of becomes deeper later on in the first
Yeah, I
two
just
movies.
mean
He is
what
Outlander.
the characters had what was shown in the movies for the villains. Loki, although he is a very good character objectively, even though I don't like him, I don't think he had enough screen time to be properly
Yeah,
developed.
and I mean he is contrasting Thor, so he doesn't have to do a whole lot to be better, and
Yeah,
probably doesn't.
yeah,
Okay, let's get to Ant-Man.
yeah.
For some reason, maybe it's because it came after Avengers. I feel like Ant-Man is the beginning of a whole new level of Marvel.
Hmm.
But that's not to say that Ant-Man is a good movie. Uh, but you can see that it's at a different level. At least for me, it felt like, we had these kind of bread and butter heroes up until now, like, the tried and true, it's gonna be good for sure.
Hmm.
Except for Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess. But Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and they just kept rehashing these. I mean, if you look at our tier list so far, I mean,
There's like
yeah, look,
five Iron Man movies,
yeah,
three
it's
Captain
it's
Americas.
just them and Black Widow in the Avengers, and that's it,
Yeah.
right? So with Ant Man, it's like, how could that be cool? How does that sound like a viable movie? And then it actually turns into quite a decent standalone flick.
Hmm.
I like the origin story, the break-in scene. It's also, I think, got the perfect blend of humor with the Mexican guy. Or
Yep.
is he Mexican? I don't
Yeah, he
know.
was
He
Mexican.
is
I'm pretty
Latino.
sure.
Yeah.
I think it was a
With
perfect
him
mix
explaining
between.
everything. And, getting Paul Rudd, who is generally a comedy star,
Hmm.
it's really good. I like the character development as well. You clearly see that his priority is his daughter, and um, he does everything for her.
Yeah, he was a nice character for sure.
I like it. I
It's a
like it.
it's a risk. I mean, they took a risk. Like, I don't
He
feel
took
like
a
anybody
risk
is
and it
gonna.
paid off.
Um,
Yeah, no one was like, "Oh, bro, I can't wait until they do a movie on Ant-Man."
and yeah, so anyone with like the younger audience, like if you look at children, I don't think anyone's gonna say, "Oh, I want to be Ant-Man. I want to be an ant. I want to be a huge ant." So
Yeah,
they were really taking a risk, and I think it paid off. He is a
yeah, yeah.
liked character now, pretty universally. So.
And I also really enjoy the character of Hank Pym. We don't really get to see a lot of characters like him,
Mhm.
actually. I don't really want to waste time on debating what he's like, but um, we've got Tony Stark and Doctor Strange, who are these kind of smart scientist guys,
Mhm.
and then Hank
But
Pym is
this
also
is the
one,
five
but
head talk podcast, so you gotta mention smart
yeah,
guys.
he is much different than those two. In that he's not really in the spotlight himself. He's
Yeah,
more like the Alfred of Batman. It's pretty interesting, this dynamic.
yeah,
How he always he's kind of like a father figure to Scott and stuff.
yeah. I agree with you. Uh, as far as the tier lists go, or tier list goes, I'd put him in probably probably A.
Yeah, I'd give it an A, definitely. I think this is maybe the surest A. The rest, like they were either should it be A or B or S or A,
I think I'm gonna
This one
actually
is kind of
rearrange these
clear. So that
this
they're
way.
actually okay. Let's do that at the end. We can do that at the end.
All right,
Just compare them all together.
all right. We guess. Oof, Civil War is a good movie. I really liked it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm thinking we could put that one into S.
Was it the first time they introduced Black Panther? Pretty sure it was.
Yes, it was the first time they introduced Black Panther and Spider-Man,
Yeah,
the one that we
yeah.
know of.
Oh, there were so many cool scenes in this movie. They really nailed the hype element with
Yeah, they really like we saw that there's gonna be a lot of superheroes in this
mhm.
movie, and we were thinking, okay, like how are you gonna put them all into it? And they were like, here's how.
Yeah. It's also
They
like
really did.
they still didn't have a they didn't want to use Thanos as a villain, right? They didn't have a villain that's powerful enough to uh, require all these
Well, look,
superheroes. But they st
Civil War is part of the comic book storyline, and it's a cool one. You've had this conflict of interest
yeah.
throughout the whole movies, right? Like Avengers 2, they almost break into fighting. They do actually start fighting, right?
Hmm.
When Tony is making Vision for the first time.
Yeah.
And you've clearly got sides, people taking sides. And
Hmm.
Cap and Tony have always kind of been on opposing moral
Yeah, as you said,
sides.
Captain America is too pure for
Yeah,
what the world needs. So,
Tony is ready to get his hands dirty, especially if it's, to sacrifice someone
yeah, I
else,
mean, he
whereas
was
Cap would never do that.
pretty
Yeah.
much making all his money by selling weapons, so he doesn't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
mind
So it's
getting his
pretty
hands dirty.
clear. Yeah, he didn't take a big step down from that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, in Civil War, what's really amazing is how even though you've got what like 18 heroes maybe, you still get a great character arc for Tony, for
Hmm.
Cap. Cap is going against the rules for the first time ever by not accepting these accords, and
Yeah.
whereas Tony just kind of has to be the bigger man after finding out Bucky killed his parents and finally manages to. You've got Black Panther's character arc, of course,
Yeah,
which is also
introducing him, introducing Spider-Man, kind of like a mini backstory for him.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, Spider-Man was just a hit sensation. Everyone wanted to see him, and it paid off.
Yeah.
And then that last fight, probably one of the most memorable
When you're
scenes
talking about the last
to
fight,
me,
you mean the one in the bunker?
between Tony and Cap.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the one in the bunker.
and when like you've got Cap on melee with Tony, and you're like, okay, Cap's gonna crush him, but
Hmm.
then Tony's suit does this like analysis of his fighting style,
Yeah, it's
and then
almost like
it
an
beats
homage to his Sherlock Holmes.
God, I loved that one. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But it was so cool. It was so cool. I loved that scene so much, and I was so sad that Tony didn't end up killing Cap. I mean, obviously they're not gonna do that, but
Yeah.
the scene was just so cool.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, I'd
telling you,
give
there
this
was
one
just
an
so many
S.
hype elements in this movie,
Mhm.
and even just
And
for
the
that
villain,
reason alone.
I like that they didn't overplay this villain. Like his whole role wasn't to be someone everyone unites against, but just to be the catalyst of their conflict. And he nails it perfectly. Like he does that. He just wants to see them fighting.
Yeah,
He's done with it. I like that a lot.
I feel like this. When it comes to, I almost want to like. I don't know why they didn't name it. I guess they wanted a trilogy for each of the main three superheroes, like Iron Man, Thor, and Cap.
Right,
But
right.
this just feels like it had to be an Avengers movie. I almost want to call it like Avengers Civil War for
Avengers
Captain.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I
Okay.
guess this is a nest as well.
I'd give it an S, and it's better than Age of Ultron.
Yeah. This
It
is a
just,
clear
I
S.
think this one was the first one which had this wow factor. Like
Yeah.
Ultron was cool and everything, but this one was like, oh my fucking
Holy
god, did they
shit! I
really
want to see
do that?
more of this. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like you give me the 4 hour director's cut, I'll watch it.
Zack Snyder's cut.
Yeah, Zack Snyder just steals this and puts it into Justice
Raw
League.
unedited. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. This is I think when we get to the rearranging part, this is probably gonna be in front of Age of Ultron, but for sure. So
Mhm. Okay, now Doctor Strange
you're
is
gonna
the
have a
movie
high
that
opinion about this one.
it's gonna be the one I'm most biased about. So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to count on you to kind of
Weigh you down.
keep me grounded
Yeah.
because I put this one in S, definitely. I love the backstory. Just recently, I was building some furniture, and I cut my hands on a few places, and I had some calluses from the screwdriver, and I couldn't use my hand properly for 2 days. It hurts while showering, hurts while writing, everything.
Does it
And then
hurt
I was like,
while? Never mind.
and then I was like, bro, who knows how it was like for Stephen Strange when he can't use his hands forever and he's a freaking surgeon,
Hmm.
Like, yeah, not to compare my problem.
I mean, you did. You did.
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole point. But yeah, it's it's such an amazing backstory, and they really nail his kind of overly arrogant character.
Hmm.
Um, and
I mean, he
then
had to be an arrogant character in order to go through that whole transformation with the
yeah, that
mummies.
whole transformation of him finding humility, but also using his intelligence to become the best one there is.
Yeah.
It's such a nice kind of message, I think, except for the message that you shouldn't be texting while driving, because that's how the accidents happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like the story. I like the kind of element of traveling the world, kind of trying to fix himself, and then this kind of montage of him learning the skills.
That was a
I
pretty
wish we
cool
could have
part.
seen maybe like a little bit more, but maybe it was just perfectly dosed. I don't know. Like how he's stealing the books and everything. It's so
Yeah,
cool.
it
It
was
has that.
like almost like a fighting movie with the training montage, with the
Yeah,
like the
yeah, yeah,
movement
yeah,
of
yeah. It's such an interesting analogy. Like you've got a learning montage.
yeah, it was a really
Uh,
cool part. And the visuals, man, this movie had like crazy
Oh,
good
oh, oh,
visuals.
it was a beautiful movie, and I liked what they did with Tilda Swinton. Is
Hmm.
that her name? I know that a lot of people were angry, like that should have been an old Asian guy, not a white woman, but
Oh,
I
the female
find
version
a
of
reason.
Ang from
Yeah,
Avatar. Yeah.
from the Avatar. Yeah, I guess people like finding reasons to be angry, but I really liked her character,
Yeah, so
and I
that's
liked,
such a mystical,
yeah, and I liked that,
mysterious.
she's not just this kind of all-powerful good guy, but she also like dabbles in dark magic and
Hmm.
Um, she's clearly got something wrong with her. She's not the best she could be, and she
Hmm.
has to make these sacrifices for her sorcerers, for her whatever it is, school of
The
magicians.
yeah. She was an interesting character, gotta
And
say.
the time stone, and God, that ending with Dormammu. Come on, like if you didn't go home from that movie and then look it up on YouTube and just watch that scene for like 10 times, then you're not
Just to
human.
feel like,
Because that,
just to get the sense of what
yeah,
Dormammu was
get
feeling
the
like.
sense of Dormammu was like, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. I mean,
Yeah,
come on, it's
10-hour
so
loop.
cool. So freaking cool. Like he keeps dying and dying and dying, and Dormammu is finally pissed off, and he's
It
like,
was,
"What do you
and
want?"
the first time, I mean, the first iteration of that scene, it was like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Like,
What the hell? What's your plan here, Doctor
yeah,
Strange?
and then
Uh,
he says, okay, this is my plan, and
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah,
be like, it's gonna blow your mind. So, I don't know,
yeah,
this
yeah.
movie.
It's really
I don't know if I could. The thing is, with all these movies that we put into high A and S tier, they all have so many superheroes, whereas Doctor Strange is
well,
obviously
except
only.
for Iron Man and Captain America, right?
Sorry,
Ant-Man. Well, Iron Man, Captain America, Ant-Man, they don't have a lot. They just have the one.
but for me,
Um,
they're not in
I
high
know, I
S.
understand. I mean, like we said, Civil War, Avengers, Ultron,
Hmm.
kind of, they're mind-blowing in a sense. I guess Ultron not so much, but yeah, Civil War
Because they're
definitely.
contributing to the universe, whereas
Well, yeah, but yeah, that's an interesting standard, of course. I mean, we've got a lot of characters, they're all interconnected, whereas
yeah,
Strange is
you don't want to kind of.
self-setup.
Yeah, you don't want to waste. I'm using the word
Yeah,
waste
but at the
loosely
same
here.
time, like there isn't not a like just like I said, keep me in check. But there's not a single part of Doctor Strange that's bad. And there are some scenes when you go like, wow, like the Dormammu scene. It's
Yeah, for sure.
insane.
If
Like
we were
it,
ranking a bunch of
and
movies, like
It's like standalone. It's
Yeah,
really got a lot of meaning,
it
and
would be an
I
easy
think
yes, but because I'm
I
ranking
think that
them
if
in terms
Mhm.
of like what they bring to the universe and
Like,
with respect to every other movie,
of
I
course,
think
well,
I'd put it in A.
yeah, but I mean, if you compare it to Iron Man and Captain America, it's Captain America and Iron Man bring more to the universe just by setting it up, right? But at the same time, they're nowhere near as awesome as strangers. So,
I think
I
I'd put
mean,
it
I guess,
between Avengers and Iron Man.
Mhm. I guess, I mean, I've got to go with you on this one because I really do feel like I'm too subjective.
Yeah,
But
because
okay,
yeah, I think I really feel like it belongs here. Again, if it was just us ranking a bunch of standalone movies, not within the cinematic universe,
Mhm.
Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like it would be an
Well,
easy yes. But as it is,
if you were looking at all of these movies as standalones only, and we obviously then discount Avengers,
mhm.
would you rank Strange higher than the rest of the movies?
No, I'd probably rank it higher than every single one except for Civil War. Yeah,
Right.
as a standalone movie. But again, you can't really rank
That's
Civil
enough
War
for
as a
me.
standalone movie
It's enough
because
for me. It's enough for me to know that then.
okay, all right.
Okay,
Um,
Guardians. Is it my turn to go first or yours?
I didn't really keep track of that actually. I
I guess
just
okay, I'll go first. So Guardians 2. Yeah, I guess this goes nicely with what I said about Guardians 1.
Mhm,
So I really think they overplayed the humor. I started rewatching it a few weeks ago
mhm.
just to kind of see if I still hate it, and I do. Um, there's this part with the Golden Armada, or I don't know what they're called. You know, those golden guys.
Yeah, the ones
They're-
that are making what's his name?
They hired them. They hired them to do. They're making Adam.
Yeah.
They hired the Guardians to do something, and then they the Guardians screwed them over. They took some batteries from them, and then these guys are mad, and
Hmm.
kind of the whole movie makes them look like a joke. And this is something that this movie does wrong, where the others do right. Like the humor um, in Doctor Strange or Guardians 1, it's not deprecating towards the characters. Like it doesn't ruin the storyline.
Hmm.
Whereas in Guardians 2, it actively makes the characters kind of feel redundant. Like these golden aliens, they're supposed to be really cool, I think, at least. They're not supposed to be a joke.
Yeah, it's
Just
almost
because the
like
movie is
it's al-
crunchy,
it's almost
not
like
supposed
how
to make
in horror movies, when you get a
them.
jump scare, it serves to scare you. I mean, obviously, jump scares are a terrible thing, but it serves to scare you, but it doesn't really do anything for the plot or the characters. It's just there to
Right.
scare you. And the humor in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was just there to, was not just there
Yeah.
to, sorry?
Oh yeah, go ahead. Finish your
The
thought.
humor in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 wasn't there just to, make a movie humorous, but it also affected characters in a big way.
Mhm.
So that's,
Yeah.
I agree.
That's exactly my point. Yeah, and then with I mean, with Mantis and Drax, I think you have the same scenes. Now, I've only seen the movie once, so I don't really remember.
Hmm.
Um, the coolest scene in the movie, in my opinion, is when Yondu goes on his killing spree with the arrow.
Yes, that is a pretty cool scene.
I've rewatched that scene a couple of times, I admit. It's a pretty cool one. I don't see why they had to kill him off. And even less so, I don't see why they didn't keep this arrow in the universe of our characters. They gave it to some random guy in the crew who we're probably never gonna see again.
Yeah, probably. I guess,
It would have been
he was a character that isn't really impactful to the story. They don't really want to keep him around, but people would have bashed on them if he was alive and not in the movies.
yeah,
So
and
maybe
didn't
that's.
do anything. Well, yeah, I mean he's really powerful with that arrow. It would
Mhm.
have been cool if Quill had this arrow.
I
Then I
wonder.
would
Now that I'm
like
thinking about
Quill.
it, I wonder what's his range on the arrow. Like, how far can he still manipulate
I
it?
guess as far as it hears him, right? So
Okay, but does all right? I guess so. All right, that makes sense. So it could be like a meter or less if there was a sound. like something that prevents sound from getting to the arrow?
I don't know. Oh, we could make like the physics of Marvel movies podcast. That would be fun.
Yeah,
Talk about that.
guess so. Put that on the
Okay.
list. I don't know
Yep.
about this one. I feel like had some cool
Like
ideas, but I feel like
uh,
they fucked it up.
to me, it's just kind of painful to watch.
Hmm.
It's like even cringy at times. Like where Thor: The Dark World is just boring and Iron Man 3 is just bad. This one is kind of actively bad. These two are kind of passively bad. The ones
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mentioned,
This one is almost
they're
like
bad because there
trying to be
wasn't enough
bad.
effort. And this one, yeah, this one is like really high you bad. know,
I feel like I'd put it
like
in D as well.
and the fact that yeah, oh, definitely, I'd even make an extra category just for this movie. To put it lower. Like make an F. I think you can make it right. You can click on these gears and make an F category.
Let's see. Yeah, guess so.
Add a row below. No, 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 no. You're changing the label of the existing one.
Oh, how do I? Oh, we don't want to name those shit.
Okay, you just put back D there, and then you click add a row below.
Where do you see Adarogalo? Oh,
See?
yeah, I see.
There you go. Now you click on this one. Choose
Shit.
a brown color. Do
Capital,
they have a
capital.
brown color?
No, what's the closest to brown? This one?
Black, I guess.
All right, I guess this is. Oh, you can't see the. Can I change the color of the text? No, I can't. I gotta use some. I gotta use this one because we can't see the
Right, all
text
right.
then. All right. So you want to
Yeah.
put it into shit tier?
Yeah, I mean the villain is just also so annoying. He's like all powerful on this planet, and he just loses.
Yeah, I feel
How does
like
he?
it was such a what's the opposite of well thought through? Like it wasn't thought through at all. Like you have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
guy that's a
Like
planet, a
he's a
fucking
really
planet.
yeah, he controls the whole. It's I mean it's so stupid. Yeah.
Hmm. So that's it for this movie. Now it's gonna be a kind of tough for you maybe to see the movies, because they're now
Well, I know them by order. It's a
okay.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
Fine. Um. Okay, so I mean, honestly, I've got to say, out of the Spider-Man installments, like
Hmm.
Sony and now this, I think this is my least impressionable Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
Uh,
is it really fair to rank him with respect to movies that are
no,
part
no,
of
I'm
the
not going
MCU?
to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say that because I don't think Andrew. Wait, what is this guy's name? Not Andrew Garfield. Tobey Maguire is the
To
first one, then Andrew Garfield, and then this one is what?
which one? Oh, the one in the MCU?
Actor, something Tony or
No, I feel like his name starts with a C. Wow, we're really. We can just Google it, I guess.
yeah, I'm googling it. Tom Holland.
Tom
Yep.
Holland, yeah.
Okay, Tom Holland. He's a good Spider-Man. I like him. I like Andrew Garfield more as a Spider-Man.
Yeah?
As a Spider-Man. But Tom is very good. He's like this awkward teenager. I like it. It's a good Spider-Man, but the villain is so boring to me. I mean, he's even got like this kind of arc. He's not just like an evil guy, but so boring. Like they just get this alien technology and they do stuff with it. I mean,
Wait,
okay, cool
was
for you.
the Spider-Man Homecoming the one with Jake
I mean,
Gyllenhaal, Mysterio, or
oh, no, no, that's Far From Home. Homecoming is with Vulture. Do you remember that one? Even
oh yeah, 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 yeah. They were there gathering like the remnants of the war of the
of the fight from New York.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
So if you ask me, the most memorable scene of this movie, or at least my favorite scene, is when he kind of gets stuck in this silo. He tries out his
He's like
powers from the
testing stuff.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Black Spider or whatever it's called.
Hmm.
And that scene is not so good. So if that's the best scene in the movie, I like the Spider-Man in in Civil War. I like him in Avengers Endgame and in Infinity War. I guess he's not really a lot in Infinity War,
Yeah, basically
uh,
he's a good
but
character as long as
his own movies, not so much. Far From Home is better, but
it is.
Homecoming, it's just a meh movie. I don't know.
I feel like
Villain is boring. Got that cool scene with the ship when Tony helps, I guess, but it's not
mhm,
really mind
mhm.
blowing.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
I feel like when you are looking at a Spider-Man movie, you really want to have a Spider-Man movie, not a Spider-Man trying to be fitted into the MCU that they've
Uh,
established so far. You want to
yeah,
have those Spider-Man characters, and it's gonna make them. I don't know. It's just gonna make it a better movie. I feel like.
I kind of like it how in the previous two trilogies of Spider-Man,
Hmm.
it was Spider-Man makes the whole movie light and charismatic, but everything else is kind of gloomy. So
Hmm.
he's kind of this light in the tunnel. That's kind of how it always seems to me, at least.
Yeah, that's a pretty
And
interesting take.
these movies just kind of I guess maybe if you know that the superheroes exist, if anything really bad happens, they can come in and save it. Like Spider-Man doesn't really have to do anything.
Right.
Like the only reason Iron Man didn't help or whatever is because he didn't believe Peter Parker that something was happening.
Yeah.
If something happened, Tony would be like, "Okay, like come on, Vulture, who the fuck do you think you are?" Um, Far From Home. I mean, yes, they were kind of unlucky with everyone being away, Thor
Hmm.
off world, Iron Man dead, but
Yeah,
still,
it
I
feels
mean,
like with Spider-Man movies, they just have to make an excuse of why they can't use any of the more powerful characters to deal with the situation.
exactly, exactly.
So, I don't know. I feel
That's the
like,
problem with Spider-Man so late. Yeah,
yeah, where would you put this one? I'd put it in C, I guess.
I didn't see. It's not really Thor level.
Yeah, which is a sad thing to say. Actually, now that I'm looking at the list, hmm, maybe, nah,
Maybe B.
let's keep it. Yeah, no, let's keep it as it is. Let's keep it as it is. Thor Ragnarok. Um, I honestly, I like this movie a lot. I feel
Oh
like
yeah, I
it,
it's worthy of an S.
yeah, it did just a lot to kind of get people interested and get people to like Thor as a character instead of just him
Oh
being
yeah.
this boring, like just a boring character. I feel like maybe they went a bit too overboard, as you said, with the humor, but the humor was good. It wasn't like the movie we have here in shit tier type of humor.
Oh, they had more humor. They had more humor than normal, but I don't think they went overboard.
Yeah, no, and more importantly was, as I said, good humor. You know, it really like as you said, like Korg. He's the funniest thing I've seen in a while. Not in MCU, but like
Yeah,
just in
Korg
general.
is so
Yeah,
so.
like the amount of times we tried to imitate him and made jokes about that.
Yeah.
You don't do that for any
Do
other.
you remember? You remember when we went to the movies together to see in Endgame,
Yeah,
and there was a cameo by Korg when he's playing Fortnite. We were
yeah,
so happy to see Korg. Like it was maybe the happiest moment
yeah,
in the watching of the movie. Um, After the big portal scene, of course.
yeah, yeah.
So I mean, Korg is so lovable.
Uh-huh. Because it's like I don't know. It feels like if this was a comedy movie, just a standalone comedy movie, he would be probably my favorite character in a comedy movie, right? So
Yeah,
just for
the
that.
character. He's not a good character, but he's a freaky character.
Yeah, he's just really funny. And the rest of the movie, I don't know. I feel like it had cool.
Like we've got Korg and we've got the rest of Ragnarok.
You know, I'm just trying to like not go into too much detail
Apart
about the
from the
movie.
humor,
Yeah,
of
yeah, yeah. Apart
course.
from the humor, I think the story was okay. Like with him going to find and save Hulk, Hulk being kept as a gladiator. All of it was just like weird, you
It was
know?
a cool reveal. I mean, they kind of spoiled it with the trailer, but it was a cool reveal that the Hulk is
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
I also liked the fact that, I mean, I guess that fits into Thor's character development or character birth. But you know how he sees through Loki's bullshit now.
Yeah.
He saves his people. He beats Hela by just kind of sacrificing the planet.
Him
You know,
him him using the his true powers as a like a thunder god for the first
yeah,
time. It was also
yeah.
really
Instead of
cool.
relying on the hammer, yeah,
Yeah. All of it just really like
yeah. And I
if
like the character of Hela a lot, even though she is very. I mean, I'm not saying like she's Thanos level or Loki level, but she's just this generic evil character. Yeah, that's true. But the way that usually in Marvel they just kind of stomp the villain, whereas here they just acknowledge that okay, this girl is
she's a powerful bitch.
insane and powerful.
Yeah.
They just bring this fire giant and they leave them there. I mean,
hmm
it's such an interesting ending, you know.
Yeah, it was, and it's almost
Very
like
unexpected.
okay, we built this world and we tried to make it work, but it didn't. People didn't like it. It was honestly kind of shit. Let's just destroy it and make them move somewhere
Yeah,
else.
when you say it that way, yeah, they actually literally did that. Where like, okay, we tried to make Asgard, you guys didn't like it, so
It's gotta go.
fuck it, fuck Asgard.
Yeah, and it just did. Uh, it is just served as a really good movie
And
too.
yeah, when you say that, you know how Hela just comes in and kills all of the Thor cast in
Yeah,
one and two, like the four guys. I don't know, remember their names. I mean, they're
neither do
they're
I.
so not
Yeah,
memorable, but
yeah.
she kills them off, and then we've got Valkyrie, who has much more screen presence, and
hmm
she's a captivating character herself. She's got a backstory and everything.
Right, and then also just the fact that they kind of, um, I don't know if we were ranking characters before, like the characters themselves, the superheroes, before this
Oh,
movie and
that would
after
be
this movie.
interesting.
Hmm?
Yeah, Thor jumps. Thor makes a great
Yeah, he
leap.
skyrockets. He's like getting from the near the bottom of the list to probably like top four, top five, top four.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So
oh yeah, easily.
I'd put this movie as a standalone movie, really good, but not that great. But as a movie that's served to
In
like
the world, in the
yeah,
universe, it's S
A
tier
tier. S
definitely.
tier?
You
Okay.
you think A tier?
Yeah, I think A tier probably like around here. Maybe here.
I don't know. I would put it in S tier. I mean, really, none of it is boring. It's got a lot of characters. It's
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
leading to side. It's kind of what we wanted the Guardians of the Galaxy sequel to be.
Kind of,
I
yeah.
feel like.
All right, let's put it in S. Let's put it in fuck it. Let's put it in S. Because it definitely is better than Avengers,
Oh
Avengers
yeah, yeah. I
1
mean,
and Avengers.
Avengers is cool for what it was, but
It
you
was still
compare
way too
the
early in the
vibe and
universe.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We can't blame them. I mean, they couldn't have pulled what they did
yeah.
back then. Black
Well,
Panther. Oh, this one brings some emotions, as you all know.
yes. Well, it is what it
Oh,
is. But
is what it is. And the movie is quite good by itself. It's
mhm,
not a banger like Ragnarok. I wouldn't give it that much praise, but it was very enjoyable throughout.
mhm.
Um, the villain,
Really cool.
Killmonger, right?
Yeah, that's his
Killmonger,
name. Yeah,
really cool. Has motivation. Even has a change of heart at the end, which is
has a
nice.
backstory.
Yeah, has a backstory. We even get some significant time on him.
Hmm
Um, I really like the kind of focus on technology and the role that Shuri has in the movie as well.
Yep.
Uh, how she kind of helps. Well, you know what she does. And I really like this kind of implementation of the suit being able to absorb energy. I thought that was really cool. And they use this mechanic quite a lot throughout the movie and in
Yeah,
some fun ways.
yeah.
Um,
I feel like it
I
was
guess that's
also
pretty
pretty
memorable.
realistic, you
And
know?
he looks so good. Yeah, yeah, it's. apart from this kind of element of um, whatever the powers he gets,
Yeah,
the rest of it's pretty realistic. There's one thing that kind of bothered me. It's this tribe that kind of doesn't like the rest of Wakanda that's
yeah,
living in the mountains,
mm-hmm.
the ones I'm talking to about.
Yeah,
They really kind of seem
um,
technologically impaired. Like they're living in mountains with really any clothes and whatever. You don't really see any technology throughout the whole arc
yeah,
that they have. So it makes me wonder, like, how the hell are they even alive? How did Wakanda not just assimilate them? You know?
yeah.
Um,
Well, I guess you could
but
just say that they didn't want to do that, but
or
yeah,
these guys were hiding there, like in Infinity War, they show up to help, and
yeah, I remember.
they don't really seem like they're going to be of much help, at least like the way their technology looks compared to the rest. So yeah, I've had a problem with them. I guess maybe they just hide it or something.
Well, I
I don't
didn't
know.
really when I
I
said
wish that was
realistic.
aggressive.
Sorry, when I say realistic, I didn't really mean in terms of like what happened in the movie or what the plot, how the plot developed or whatever. I just mean like the interactions between people, like when the Black Panther and his sister.
Supernatural.
Yeah, everything seems so
Yeah.
natural. Not like superheroes in a movie, but like people
Mhm.
in a world that
Yeah,
have superheroes in it. So
yeah,
that's
it reminds me of Peter Parker and May. That's a pretty natural relationship as well.
yeah, probably. So they kind of
Yeah, it's nice to see that. Yeah, you're right.
when you
It's nice to
contrast
see
that
that.
with what the interactions looked like and felt like in Thor or Thor: The Dark World, it's
Yeah,
just a much better. I don't know.
Superman.
Oh my god. Yeah, I just feel like that's what the if they were if there was ever going to be like a style of superhero movies that existed, I feel like that should be the style that they everybody
Yeah,
kind of
it's all around a good movie. It doesn't do anything really badly. It's got this interesting concept about this fight for who's going to be the next Panther,
hmm
and the whole idea of Wakanda existing is it's really
Yeah, it's a pretty
interesting,
cool reveal.
really brain tickling. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed between A and B.
Yeah, so am I. I would. I don't know. We got a lot of movies in A. I feel like we're gonna have to rearrange them
In
at
the
the
end,
end. Yeah, maybe even shift them up
up
or
and
down a
down.
tier.
Yeah, I would be game. I don't know.
I put this one in B probably.
All right, I'll go for B.
Okay.
Black Panther and B.
Yeah. So I guess I'll talk about Avengers, and you'll get to Ant-Man and the Wasp. Um, so Avengers: Infinity War. This was this was what everyone was waiting for, right? The big one, where all the heroes come together fighting
For all
against.
the action figures come out of the box.
Yeah. All time to break out all those mint boxes and open them up. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say about this one, man. It was we went there together. We watched it. It was a really cool movie. Uh, Thanos is just such a good villain. I know
Oh yeah,
everybody talked about this, of
got
course.
such presence, such screen presence, and a
Yeah,
good motivation.
yeah, and worst of all, or best of all, I don't know which one to say here. You can't help but uh, actually kind of like
Sympathize.
yeah sympathize
Mm.
and also like think about the um,
Yeah, what if
he
he's
has a
right?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And I love that he actually gets what he wants, and then we get to see why it's not a good point. Everyone on Earth is just super depressed
yeah,
because they lost half the people they loved.
yeah.
And no one knows how to keep going. It's interesting to think, like in 100 years from the events of the movie, if they hadn't reversed it, would the Earth actually be better off? Because people would have forgotten by
Yeah, that's
then.
a
I mean,
cool cool
yeah, it's interesting to think about. What
hypothesis
if
hypothetical to
in,
make.
in this Spider-Man multiverse movie, there's a universe where they didn't reverse Thanos'
That
snap.
would be
Oh, that
yeah.
would be so sexy. Oh, they should do that. They should do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should write a script for that and then send it to
Yeah,
somebody.
don't anyone steal this part from us?
I'm probably just gonna cut this from the
Yeah, yeah,
final.
cut it out. Cut it out.
This is confidential. No, I don't think I'm gonna be cutting um any parts.
Don't cut
Um,
anything out. It's gonna be a short podcast.
yeah, maybe like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
This is like a Marvel movie in itself.
Yeah. Imagine a
Should
Marvel
be
movie
canon.
where somebody is just ranking all the Marvel movies. But yeah, back to the
I mean, I guess people would still go to the movies for that. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Back to Infinity War. Also, what I really liked about the movie is they. I was kind of skeptical before the movie, um, in regards to is every character actually going to get um, a
Enough
fair amount
time.
of time and just get what they deserve. Like,
Weren't you worried about that in Civil War? I think I was more worried for it
no,
in
I don't
Civil
think so
War.
because there was not that many characters. We had like 10, whereas in Avengers Infinity
Okay.
War you have like I don't know so many.
Yeah.
And I feel like they did a really good job of
Oh yeah.
giving
Mhm.
everybody.
I was also worried. Like, is everybody really gonna be
I think it was a
useful?
good idea to split up
Oh yeah.
because you can't
Split
really
them
have
up.
a big fight and then give everybody a role. But
Yeah.
if you make
But
more
yeah,
smaller
yeah,
fights,
yeah.
that was a good idea.
It was a good idea, and also it made sense for the plot
Hmm.
because you don't want it to be like in Scooby Doo when they go, "Oh, let's split up," and then the only reason why they lose is because they split up.
Yeah,
No, here they really had to split up. Like in okay, well, let's talk about that later.
yeah.
But yeah, in Infinity War, they really do it well. They do all the characters justice.
The Black Squad. What do you think about those?
Hulk has this really interesting arc.
Hmm.
The Black Squad. I mean, the Maw was one of my favorite characters as far as just like action scenes and
Yeah,
raw power
I feel
goes.
like I was a bit too. I had a bit too high expectations for him, so I was a little bit disappointed when I saw the movie.
Yeah, they did him dirty. They did him dirty, and even more so, I was disappointed not to see him in Endgame, not to
Hmm.
see him play a part in Endgame at
Yeah,
least, because I felt like he was really strong. I mean, being able to single-handedly defeat Doctor Strange
yeah,
and
it's
shake off Iron Man, and like imagine how surprised these guys were all of a sudden. This guy, I mean, these two guys, right? The half of the Black Squad, they
yeah,
come down and they just wreck them.
yeah. It's
It's
almost
Tony's
like
worst fear, right?
everything in the universe is building up to have them like gradually get stronger and everything. Like you never had well, except for Thor Ragnarok, you never had a situation where any of the heroes are just strictly like weaker than someone
Yeah. Mhm.
until
And here they
that
just
scene.
get shat on. Yeah,
Yeah,
they just get shat on completely by Maw.
it was
And
really good
Division also,
part.
Division gets completely destroyed by that
Hmm.
Corvus, I think his name is the guy with the spear.
Yeah, I don't
Until the
remember.
rest show up. And then he gets wrecked again in the ending by
And
Corvus.
then the whole I actually one thing I wanted to mention about Guardians of the Galaxy and why I kind of want to give it some credit as well, even though it's not that great of a movie when you compare it to the other ones in A tier, but um, it really did a good job of finally like connecting all those characters to what the plot or where the plot was going because I felt like it was almost like impossible to connect all those characters in the space to what's happening on Earth or with the main superhero
Uh,
cast of superheroes, and I feel like they did a really good job of implementing. I don't know if they knew about Thor Ragnarok and what it's gonna do, or if they just winged it and did a really good job at it. But the way they connected everything, it was really good. So just for that part as well, I think it's Avengers. That was just a really cool part as well. Like when Thor and all of those guys went to what's that planet? The dwarf planet, or
Yeah. The star where they
yeah,
make the
yeah,
forge.
and
Yeah.
then them coming back to Earth with
No, I
oh
mean, we agreed that we'd put Endgame into S. Like we knew that
you
that
mean
would
Infinity
happen.
War?
Infinity War, yeah. But now that we've already got movies in S, I feel like we should make a new category just for the Infinity War and
What do you want
Endgame.
to call it?
Because I don't know, S plus.
S plus. Feels like something out of Naruto game.
Yeah, well,
And the
definitely
color pink. Why not?
pink, definitely. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I think.
Endgame, Infinity War. I mean, it's so amazing, and the ending is so unorthodox as far as
Hmm.
Marvel movies go.
It's
Um,
such a cliffhanger, and we didn't really have to wait that long.
you know the faces on the characters when they realize they lost,
Yeah, it's
they really mirror our faces, and
yeah, yeah, that's the truth. That's
also thought that was so cool. Like, you got this scene when Black Panther is like, "This is no time to die," and then he just disappears. This is no
hmm
place to die. And Strange going, "This was the only way." I mean, so cool, so
yeah.
cool.
There's also like this element of like what are they gonna do now? Like what's gonna happen now?
Mhm.
Nobody knew what's
Oh,
gonna
and
happen. Everybody was shocked.
the scene when they bring Vision. Well, I mean, when Wanda kills Vision, and then Thanos just rewinds. So cool. That's such good use of the mechanics in the universe.
Right. Everything in this movie was I really can't say a single bad thing about it. It was just we were waiting for this movie. It happened, and it was a
Yeah,
fucking great movie.
yeah. It delivered much more than we could have expected.
Yeah. So there it is. Now it's your turn. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. Okay. Well, I'm gonna try not to undersell this movie. You haven't seen it,
Yep.
and I've seen it once. Honestly, the character. So, okay. I guess I should tell you a little bit about it, but I don't remember much. the The point is, Scott realized that um, he can hear the wife of Hank Pym
hmm
in this quantum universe. Um, I don't remember how he realized this, and I guess part of the movie is about bringing her out. Another part of the movie is there's something in a briefcase that they need to um, protect, I guess. Maybe that's what they need to use to get to the quantum realm. And there's a bunch of other people who want it. One is some criminal organization. They're pretty irrelevant. They have no one, no character who's some threat. Um, and then another threat is this girl who can like quantum tunnel through walls and other barriers. She's basically like Toby in Naruto.
Okay. Okay.
She can just phase through everything when she wants to, but it hurts her when she does it. Physically hurts
That's
her.
a cool mechanic because it's
And
like
yes,
limiting.
I like her mechanic, and she looks really cool. She looks like a StarCraft ghost.
What's her name?
Uh, Google Ant-Man ghost.
Oh wow, yeah, she does look really cool.
She looks really cool. Like, she
Kind of
really does
reminds
look
me of
cool.
one of those Spider-Man animated movie characters. One of the Spider-Mans. Gwen Stacy's
I
Spider-Man?
don't know. To me, it really reminds me of Nova from StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I guess I didn't play as much StarCraft as you did.
Yeah,
Oh, look at this. Sorry, just to quickly
it looks like a normal distribution,
yeah,
right?
like a bit of a bell curve type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe we did everything right after all. No
Huh.
mistakes.
Well, happens when you make a tier list. Um, I don't know. The movie has too much quantum. in it. They keep rolling this term for everything, any plot device that they need, quantum this, quantum that,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
They just ask pull it every time,
Feels like almost
and
the producers are thinking, oh well, how like what percent of the audience
yeah, what
is gonna
percent of the
understand
world
what
would.
we're just gonna
But
use this term.
like, it really does Marvel injustice because the whole point of the Marvel movies is that everything is kind of scientifically explained,
Mm-hmm.
barring Doctor Strange, of course. Everything else, they
There's
always
actually
say
a
like,
there's actually a
I
video on YouTube that's like
I've seen Matt Pat's
yeah,
video on it.
it's a pretty cool one.
Uh, but I guess what I'm trying to say is that's the only thing that they don't feel like they need to explain yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then here comes Ant-Man, where they just bullshit everything. And I
Yeah,
don't
it feels
know,
kind of.
as far as Ant-Man himself goes, I cannot remember a single cool scene. I don't remember that they used this ghost character in any interesting way. It's kind of unfair to me to rate the movie because I don't remember any of it, but at the same time,
But
just
it's
because
just
I
as
don't
unfair
remember
for me
any of
to
it.
rate it because I
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
what I mean is because I don't remember any of it, it couldn't have been good.
Yeah, it feels like you're describing a C tier movie, honestly.
I really had to struggle with watching it.
Mm.
I would put it into D tier.
Which one?
uh, Into D tier.
D. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, with Thor and with Iron Man 3. I mean,
Okay. Okay. D.
the
Um.
end scene is really good.
Yeah,
The end,
it's tying into the
yeah,
Infinity War plot.
Scott. Yeah, Scott. He ends up in this quantum realm trying to look for something. I don't know what. Maybe he's
Mm-hmm.
just training,
Okay.
and the rest of the crew is helping him. So that's the Wasp and the two, like Hank Pym and his wife,
Mm-hmm.
who's been brought back. And then they all get snapped, and he's still in the quantum realm. And I mean, you know what
Yeah,
happens in
yeah, yeah.
Endgame.
I think I saw that
It's,
scene.
it's a really cool part. I really like that.
Okay. All right. When you were
Caption.
explaining it, I was thinking about putting it into C tier, but I don't know. I guess D is fine. What's the next one? Captain Marvel. Oh, you know, despite all the hate going towards
Oh,
what's her name?
huh?
What's the name of the actress playing Captain Marvel?
Oh,
Let's Google it. How are we so bad at remembering names?
I don't think we're that bad. Brie Larson.
Yeah, despite all the hate towards Brie Larson, I feel
Mhm.
like this movie was in terms of the standalone movies or like the movies about one character. This movie was really good. I liked it for the fact that it was almost like a cop buddy movie, right? With the inspectors and stuff.
Well, the movie is pretty decent. I enjoyed it as well. Like you said, as a standalone movie, obviously there's no other characters except for Nick Fury, right?
Yeah.
Which ends up not being Nick Fury. Um, but I do have this problem where I really dislike it when I don't know what's going on, and when the perspective of the story is from a character who doesn't know what's going on.
Uh huh.
And the movie starts off with her having amnesia and us not knowing what the hell's going on. So it was really hard for me to get invested into the movie while we still didn't know what's going on. So yeah, I know that a lot of people don't have the same problem, but for me, it's just so uninviting to watch something from like a delusional person's perspective.
Okay.
Like with the movie Memento,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So, but yeah, that's just my take, and I do acknowledge that the movie is pretty decent.
yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I can't relate to that. I don't really, as you know, I don't really have
Mhm.
that type of problem. But I see what you're saying. I think it would probably go into B or C tier then.
Mhm. What I didn't like is that her powers seem more like they're just really strong than here's how they work. Like most of the
Um,
characters do have some intricate thing that they can do, whereas she can just blast you.
Yeah, but I haven't
Just
seen
strong.
the, or I haven't read the comics, but it feels like all the characters just have the powers that they have in comics, so I
Yeah,
guess they don't really do
of
anything
course. I mean, all of the story is from the comics. Either we can judge the comics as well. We
hmm
don't just judge the movies, right?
Okay, I guess. I mean,
Yeah,
I wasn't
I'm fine with putting her into B. Yeah, I'm fine with that. Like a weak
okay.
B.
Yeah, kind of like
Definitely not Black Panther level, but
yeah, yeah. I think this is a nice spot. And actually, now that I'm looking at the list, what do you think about shifting or like swapping Thor and Spider-Man?
I
Putting.
don't know.
I think
I
that's a
maybe
fair
I would
idea.
have Spider-Man up, but I wouldn't swap it with Thor. I would leave Thor up.
In B tier? Mm,
Yeah.
okay, all right. What's next? Endgame. Oh,
Easy S plus.
yeah, for
Here's
sure.
why.
But to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so it starts off, just completely in the gutter. Tony almost flat out dies in the beginning, right?
hmm
Everyone is super depressed, and you just know that something's gonna have to fix it. And we even get to see Thanos dead in like the 10th minute or something, but
Yeah,
still, nothing's really reversed. Everyone's still sad.
yeah. Also,
And
one
then
thing.
here comes Ant-Man with the solution.
You mentioned how Thanos achieved his goal, and you kind of show that, or the movie kind of shows that it didn't really make anybody happy, because nobody really saw the
On Earth, at
problem.
least.
Yeah, nobody really saw the problem that he was describing or trying to fix.
Yep.
Um, do you think it made him happy though? Like, what was his?
No, you could see that he was suffering. I mean, he did it for the betterment of the world, but he was definitely not happy about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't
So,
look content at all. I mean, he even had to lose Gamora, right? Which
hmm
definitely pained him. He looks unhappy when
yeah,
they
he was
find
making a
him, almost
sacrifice. He was making a sacrifice.
almost almost admitting that he deserves what's about to come, his
Yeah,
death.
yeah, yeah. He
And this
just
whole
kind of
gloomy
accepts it.
undertone of the movie and the foreshadowing with Tony, how
hmm
we already are getting prepared for him to die, and he does
Yeah.
in the end. Yeah, and
Um,
something that might not have been the focal point for most viewers, I really liked Nebula's character arc in this movie. Um,
yeah, so did I.
I she's not really a pivotal character. Well, I guess she is because without her, Thanos wouldn't know
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
coming. But her whole character arc, where she even kills her old self, right? It it must be so weird
Yeah, it
how
was a
much
really
she's
interesting way because of the I don't want to say power, but the thing about her where she can kind of
yeah
store
yeah
memories or
well
whatever. Yeah, and then having her uh, be able to do whatever with the memories of another version of her. It kind of makes
mhm.
sense, but you can't say it makes sense because it's a
Well
uh,
it's not really you can't really see how that would work, but you can kind of accept it. It's fine.
I mean,
It's
if it's just a clone of her, why wouldn't she be able to? Like, I don't know. It's a strange situation, but I can see
we
how
can
it.
debate that on the science podcast.
Yeah.
But that aside, I mean, it's really interesting. It's really interesting, and I liked it.
hmm
Um,
And then of course all the things that were good in Infinity War, I feel like they were even better
Born
in.
showing up.
Yeah, it's all the little details, even like when the portals first appear and Falcon
The
says,
setup for the Loki TV show also, I really
mm-hmm,
liked it. The
yeah,
way that they just let him spin off away with the Tesseract.
yeah,
The
that's
one thing that I did want to mention that I find to be a pretty major plot hole of Endgame is that how they had these Pym particles
yeah,
and they can all go one at a time,
yeah,
and then Why don't they just go back to a time where there was more Pym particles and grab those, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
that's again one of the
so
topics for
they needed an excuse to split up, right?
right,
Because they don't want to go everywhere all together, because then it's going to be too easy, and they're just going to lose Natasha and and that's it.
right.
But you know, they could have gotten more Pym particles.
Yeah.
So that's something I don't know. It's a pretty big plot hole, but you know, the movie is amazing. So
Yeah, and the way it kind of sets up for all the characters that are gonna be gone, for how
yeah,
they're gonna go,
yeah.
it did a really good job. I don't feel like anything again, just like Infinity War, I can't say a single bad thing about it. So easy S plus here. A really good movie. Delivered on all the expectations I had.
Yeah, a great catharsis to contrast the first one.
Yeah, how many years passed between the first
Just one.
Avengers movie and
Well, the first
Endgame?
Avenger, I think the first Avengers was 2016, right?
Really?
2012.
I think it was 2012.
2012.
So that's like
So
nearly 10
7 years.
years. Yeah, which is nearly 10.
Yeah, rounding up.
So it's like your whole adolescence, your whole adolescent life. Um,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we grew up on these Marvel movies and
right.
got what we deserved.
A perfect balance.
Yeah.
All right, and finally to uh, wrap to wrap it up with the last movie, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Not the greatest one to end things on, but
I liked the twist.
not the worst one either.
The whole time I was thinking, like, really alternate realities. Mysterio, the good guy, maybe it could work. And then there
Hmm.
was the twist, and I was so happy that I didn't watch the trailer when I
Yeah.
saw the twist. So yeah, I like that. Also, the scene when Mysterio completely gets into his head and makes him hallucinate. That's a
Hmm.
really good sequence.
Yes,
Very enjoyable.
it was a really enjoyable one. It also kind of I mean, of course, there is the appearance of Tony Stark, Iron Man, and
Mhm.
how you can see how um Peter Parker still hasn't gotten over what happened, and I feel like um, I don't know. This movie could have been so much better if it was just more of a Spider-Man movie and less of a MCU
Yeah.
movie. Could have been so much better.
I agree with that. What they did really well is give us this feel of a school trip. I mean, I
Hmm.
think it was more of a Spider-Man movie than the previous one
For
was.
sure,
You
yeah,
know,
for sure.
we really did get this Peter Parker experience where he's even kind of doesn't even want to be Spider-Man at
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
and he's sad about Tony dying at times. And he just wants to be a kid. He wants to, smash MJ, and
yeah,
it's pretty relatable. I mean.
yeah. But
So
again, it feels a bit bad to
what
have
I don't like is, he's fighting drones essentially, right? So, I
yeah,
mean, come on, faceless enemies that are just robots. Eh,
yeah,
we
kind of
had that in
cheap.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, yeah. Overall,
So
kind of.
the twist at the end, I don't know if you remember the end credit scene when
I don't think I
J.
do.
Jonah Jameson
Sorry.
reveals that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. You remember this?
She reveals that she knew he was Spider-Man, or I don't remember it.
No, no, J. Jonah Jameson, the reporter, he reveals that Peter Parker is Spider-Man to the
Oh,
whole world.
okay. I don't remember. Maybe
That's
I haven't
such a
seen
cool
it.
scene,
Maybe I haven't seen it. I don't know.
and you should watch it. And J. Jonah Jameson is the reporter from Spider-Man for Tobey Maguire, with
Okay,
Tobey Maguire.
okay.
So we
Great.
get the same actor, and everyone in the movies was like going crazy. Oh wow, it's him!
Mm-hmm.
It was such a cool scene,
All right,
tying them
okay.
together, and it's really gonna be exciting to see what happens. Like the whole world knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, and they think that he killed Mysterio and that Mysterio was the good guy.
Yeah,
So
there's got to be a way to explain like what happened to the world, and it's sometimes a little bit I don't know, kind of I don't know a better word except for funny, how like everybody knows who Tony Stark is, everybody knows who Captain America is,
yeah, yeah,
you know?
Spider-Man is the only one who's hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost
It's
like
interesting because he's still a kid. He still needs to figure out who he is. Yeah, another thing this movie does well, at least it does, is address the aftermath of the snap, right?
with respect
So,
to age.
well, yeah, yeah, you know how like they say that you have to repeat a grade and whatever. Like it's pretty fun. It's pretty
Yeah,
fun seeing that kind of side effects.
yeah. I almost feel like if it was any other, I don't know, producer or production company or whatever, they would have just skipped over that. Like
Yeah, they would have
that's not important.
neglected it.
Yeah, so it's nice that they included that.
Good attention to detail to
Yeah.
world building. I don't know. It
B.
has to go above Homecoming, that's for sure.
I'm thinking B.
Uh, high B, high B,
All right, let's put it in
somewhere
B.
along Black Panther, I guess.
And
Okay, so
we're
let's
gonna
just sort
take a few
this out.
minutes to sort the list, or maybe
Right,
swap
right.
things around.
So shit tier stays shit tier.
Yeah, definitely.
In D tier, I would put maybe Ant-Man to the first one
Yeah, it
and
was a
then
pretty
leave
cool one.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is fine. Here I would probably put Hulk here, and then um, shift Spider-Man Far From Home all the way like here. I'm just doing this, but you can
okay.
you know
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
change it. And then
I mean, I would put Spider-Man before Iron Man 2 as well.
okay, all right. And
Mhm.
I honestly I would do this. Put Marvel here, put
Yep.
Captain Marvel here,
Mhm.
and then do this. But I don't think you would do that. So what do you think about
I
this? Spider-Man in B and Thor in C tier. Because Thor was the first one really underwhelming. Spider-Man was at
I
least fun.
I would leave Spider-Man down there with Thor.
Like this?
Yeah, I don't think the two Spider-Men deserve to be in the same tier
Fair
list
point, fair point.
because
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Um,
Then A tier, I think it should be the way it is,
yeah, I don't want to change
honestly.
anything. Here I would just put Civil
Yeah,
War in front of the
yeah, and I'd put Ragnarok in front of. I just put Avengers in the end.
like this. Yeah. And then between these
Yeah,
two, I don't think there is any particular
which one
ranking
is which? Infinity War is left. Uh-huh.
left. Yeah.
Uh,
You know what?
yeah,
they're just here in S plus
Infinity
tier.
War.
Mm,
I think Infinity War is better, honestly. Um,
All right, I don't really
but
have a.
just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe it had a bit more.
It's
Um,
just because of the plot hole in Endgame,
okay.
and because Thor is fat. I don't like that Thor is fat.
Yeah, that was a pretty. For me, for seeing him uh, fat for the first time, it
But
was really disappointing.
we got
Um,
Korg. We got Korg in Endgame.
yeah, and it
So
was the first time we saw all of them together in such a grand scale type of fight and type of scene. So it wasn't as impressive and shocking in Endgame. Although the portals,
well, we had the portal scene. The portal scene is so sexy.
yeah, it was, but it wasn't the first time we've seen something like this. So uh,
Sure. Yeah, no, I'm fine. I'm comfortable with this list. I'm
yeah, so am
happy
I.
with the results, and it's a normal distribution, just like Gauss would expect.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. Didn't expect it to turn out this way. I was it was really funny when I noticed it. All right, I'm happy with the list as well. Um,
Okay, well, let us know if you agree or disagree.
yep, down in the comments, and
This has been I've had talk.
yeah, maybe let us know what your favorite character or movie is. We would love to see that. All right, Five Hat Talk signing off.
Bye bye.